Welcome everyone back to Weekly Weather Updates, and today we're going to be having a look at the sort of aftermath of Storm Bella, with the potential for some significant snowfall potentially over the next couple of days, and then beyond that it's remaining fairly cold, and we'll have a look at that. And then in the long run, there's even a chance of us pulling in a bit of an easterly around day 10, but we'll have a look at that through the models now. We'll start off going through the main sort of pressure patterns before moving on to the precipitation types over the next couple of days, and then the sort of live observations and radar. So we'll run through the GFS first, and as we move through, you can see storm bellows around us, and you can see where we're going to see snowfall is from showers coming in from this from this wind. And if we looked more on the smaller scale, you can see sort of spiraling around this area of low pressure. And wherever the centre really sits is where we're going to have an occluded front round it. Now, where that occluded front is, there's going to be some enhanced precipitation, or showers at least, where we could be seeing some, well, for the UK, significant snowfall. Now, I don't know exactly where it's going to line up. Many models are sort of still unsure where it's going to line up, so we're going to have a look at that in a minute. But currently, it looks like it's tracking through sort of through Wales, down through Midlands, southern England, that sort of trajectory along there, and the occluded fronts around it. So at the moment, it's bringing sort of a band of rain, sleet, and snow through the Midlands into the southeast. And then after that, it looks like it might spiral up again around this sort of North Sea coast and come back in across East Anglia. That's what I've looked at so far, but we'll firm that up later in the video. But as we continue to run through, there's another little feature running down there, the east coast, the west coast, and it still, it enhances precipitation with the sort of showery outcome. However, this low pressure is filling in, so the pressure is rising towards the centre of it. Even though it is still pulling in quite a brisk, cold northerly wind, there's still some showers will be with that, so you could see some snowfall around from that. And that's something that will be sort of an nowcast situation where you only really know if you're going to get snow that day. Just looking at the live radar, really, because it's so difficult to model this sort of scenario on the weather charts. Just really good seeing where there's enhanced precipitation. But as we run through, the low pressure does fill in, so it does. We sort of go into quite a slack flow. It's going to be very cold, definitely overnight, getting into freezing temperatures quite widely, and even in rural areas, I'm getting down to -4, -5, or even lower than that. And then in the day, where we've got snow cover potentially not getting above freezing, and then most other areas only being about 1 or 2 degrees. So it's going to be very cold conditions for that, but we're mostly looking at the snow today. But as we move through, you can see there are still little features around me. You see these squiggles in the isobars. There could be little features here or there, little troughs, and that's something we'll have to look at the facts charts for nearer the time. But as we move towards the end of next week, you can see there is a little area of low pressure towards Scotland that could bring some enhanced precipitation with that. But then low pressure starts to push in from the Atlantic. It does get sort of blocked out this pocket of high pressure towards Scandinavia, and you can see it sort of elongates as we run through. As you see, it goes elongates towards the UK. But as it does that, it starts bringing up milder air from the south. Now, in other models, and we'll have a look at the minute, it pulls in an easterly wind beforehand, so this high pressure is a bit stronger. But this could bring a snow event initially before turning everything back to rain and milder conditions as the southwesterly winds come back in. But it's still a blocked position, so I wouldn't be surprised if it went colder again. By the end of the run, you can start to see very cold air flooding in from Scandinavia, and by the end of the GFS run, we've got a deep cold pool just to our north and our east, and all we have to do is put in the winds from the east on the back edge of a low pressure system. We kind of are a little bit here with the -5 moving through, but we can be getting even colder air moving through. And this is where you could see not bitterly cold conditions, or sustained bitterly cold conditions, but especially cold conditions on a short timescale with significant snowfall. So that's something we need to keep an eye on, but at the moment it's still in the long run, so it's nothing to really focus on. If we have a look at the GEM model, which has been, saw this morning, been verifying quite well in the last couple of weeks, just behind the ECMWF, which we'll have a look at in a minute. You see that low pressure down to our south, and as it moves through, spiraling around, cold air comes in from the north, small little features there out in the Atlantic coming into the UK, potentially bringing enhanced snowfall or rainfall. As we end the run, you see that pocket of high pressure is a bit stronger to our north, and we start to pull in a brisk easterly wind. Now, unfortunately, the tilt is a little bit more south eastward, so we're pulling more milder air in, but colder initially, but more milder air in the long run before we're pulling in a southerly wind towards the end of the run. But it's still remaining fairly blocked to our north, so I wouldn't be surprised if this low pressure starts to dive further southwards, introducing colder air again. But by the end of the run, we're pulling up a balmy southerly wind. But again, it's still likely to change. If you look at the ECMWF, which is probably the best model in the mid range, you see low pressure pulling out to our east, little features moving through. You can see that, and that little low pressure. That's been something all the models have been looking at. This little low pressure diving down from Iceland. It's not particularly deep, but again, any enhanced precipitation could bring some significant snowfall to small regions. And in the long run, pulling in a brisk northerly wind, high pressure builds to our north, and we start to pull in quite cold easterly winds. That would be bringing snow showers with it. And if we have a look at the 850 HPA temperatures, quite cold still in the United Kingdom. You can see quite tight isobars, so that's bringing in quite cold air, plus will bring snow showers. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some accumulation down the southeast, northeast coasts, East Anglia, with maybe some significant snowfall around with that. But as we move beyond that, it sort of goes to more of a slack throw with high pressure out into the Atlantic. And in this scenario, anything can really happen. This could topple over, bringing milder air in from the Atlantic. It can retrogress towards Greenland, and this low pressure can move out towards Scandinavia and pull down a northerly wind again. So it's all in the air with that scenario. Lastly, we have a look at the GFS upper airs and precipitation. This is the 6 o'clock run, but it hasn't completely come through yet, but we get the gist to around 8th of January. Anything beyond that is quite uncertain. But at the moment, we've got a quite cooling trend, quite a significant cooling trend, down to around -5, -6 by the end of next week. And then we start to see a bit of a rise, but that's more because of uncertainty. We've got some ensemble members going a lot milder, and you can see with the operational run, that's because we start to get those southerly winds where that low pressure and that blocking sits, or we could be bringing some colder air in, or repeatedly bringing colder air in with easterly winds and more precipitation with that. So we could be seeing some snow, more significant snow with that. In the short run, there's got the aftermath of Storm Bella moving through. Then we've got the occluded front with the Storm Bella. And at the moment, that's quite undecisive whether that's going to be snow, rain, sleet, or even where its positioning is going to be. And beyond that, we've got, showers around. And again, remember 1 centimetre is equal to 1 millimetre, so this just this red spike here going up to around 5 millimetres is 5 centimetres of snow, that's 2 inches. That's quite a lot of snow, even though it doesn't look too significant. So it's still something we need to keep an eye on. The dew point is very low for the UK, or sustained at a low position around 0 degrees, especially for the south. That's quite cold, and you always need around 0 to get sleet or snow. So we've got that ticked off. And again, it just shows you how marginal it will be. Its average is hovering around 0, but if it's just slightly below 0, we could be seeing significant snowfall, or we could be seeing significant rainfall. And if we have a look at the 2-metre temperatures, you can see very cold conditions, averaging around 2-3 degrees in the day. And again, this is London, and more rural areas will be a bit colder than this, maybe a degree or so colder. Overnight came down to freezing, widely from sort of midweek this week, maybe even in localized spots this week. It's just because there's more likely to be more cloud cover as the low pressure is still fairly deep, so there's going to be more clouds around, so not allowing the temperature to drop as much, but still getting around to 1 degree, and the clouds here maybe even a bit colder, so it's going to be a lot of ice around, and there's even an ice warning out for tomorrow. It's covering quite a large area, so I'm not going to cover it in this video, as it's not really focusing on anything exactly, just saying that the chance of snow and ice from this occluded front that we've been looking at. Now if we move on to the weatheroutlook.com, we can start to see the precipitation signal for for the UK. As we run through, you'll see the aftermath of Storm Bella with its weather fronts moving through. Before we've got snowfall, significant snowfall packing into northeastern, northeastern, northwestern parts, or mostly northwestern parts of Scotland and central Scotland as well, bringing quite significant snowfall, and that's that occluded front. As we move towards Monday, you can see that's the occluded front there, bringing snowfall through central areas before it does slip away and come back into the southeast, and then we've got more showers moving in towards more eastern areas, and that's a secondary little system potentially bringing more snowfall there. Before we move through, we still just got a lot of showers packing in, bringing significant snowfall in regions, and then other areas not really seeing anything at all. Can't really look at this far out, we can't really look at the snowfall too much, but just generally little features moving through. Even this feature just moving through northern England, southern Scotland could bring enhanced snowfall here or there. And again, little snow areas moving around and bringing potential for some snowfall and some lying snow in regions. If we have a look at the arpege model, we can see the aftermath of Storm Bella, and as we run through the precipitation, overnight tonight, you can see snowfall moving into Scotland. It doesn't show as much snow as the GFS does, but it does show that occluded front moving in through the Midlands. Doesn't really show it too significantly, showing mostly missing the south, really, which is a bit weird comparing what other ensemble numbers were showing. But again, it does show another, it's maybe showing the low pressure, the occluded front changing position, and so by Tuesday morning it's moving through, potentially bringing snowfall to central southern areas and Wales, southwestern areas as well. So again, it's very interesting. It's not really nailed on with any of the models so far. As we move through, just more showers packing into the east, even getting into central areas, and yeah, just generally being quite cold and potentially wintry. If we have a look at the icon model, you can see this is Monday midnight, and you see that snow packing into Scotland. And as we move through, see that's the occluded front there, and it starts to bring some snowfall into central southern areas, but again, it doesn't really show it too well. And then we've got another area of snow moving through early Tuesday morning, so that's something interesting we're seeing. So we've got snow moving through on Monday, and that's still up in the air, but then another position, a bit of snow moving in from the northwest southeast, again, potentially bringing some snow with it. In the longer run, again, a lot of showers packing into coastal areas, but again, nothing too significant at this stage. But again, little small features could pop up in the short run at any moment. Again, all little feature moving through in the channel that could bring some snowfall to southern areas again, and then a little system moving in off the North Sea. So again, quite significant stuff happening here. We could be seeing some heavy snowfall in regions, or even no snowfall. So it's quite a weird situation, and it's something you have to really in an outcast situation. But we have seen there are a few features around that could bring some surprise snowfalls here or there. If we have a look at the Met Office, this is what the Met Office is looking at. And if we move, we'll go to early Monday morning. You can see snowfall. Well, this just shows precipitation, really, moving into Scotland, most of that being snow. And then as we move through to 3 a.m. on Monday, see a lot of showers packing into the west. If we move to 6 a.m, you can see that's sort of the occluded front moving in. 9 a.m. on Monday, and then midday on Monday, 3 p.m, still a lot of showers moving in. And then 6 o'clock on Monday, and then 9 o'clock. So again, it doesn't show it getting particularly far east, which is very interesting. I mean, there's a lot of battle going on between the models here. As a lot of models have the snowfall rainfall getting through to the east and southeast, but the Met Office doesn't even get it beyond really Wales. So I don't really know what's going on with that. Just shows you the amount of uncertainty there is. And finally, we'll have a look at the weatherchannel.com, and as you can see, That's the weather front from Storm Bella moving through into France now. We've got a lot of showers packing behind it. Some significant snowfall over mountains in Scotland, even to lowland areas in Scotland. Fort William seeing a lot of snow there. And you see a lot of showers packing into the northwest, into parts of Ireland. And that's the occluded front there, moving through into Scotland, past Stornoway. And it will be moving in towards sort of this alignment here. So again, it'll be very interesting to see what happens with that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned with sort of Met Office and local forecasters. But it's going to be sort of a nowcast situation with a lot of stuff happening in the next day or two. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.